Hey guys, welcome back to At Our Modern Farmhouse with Pat and Kat. Today, y'all are in for a treat. So you're going to meet the other half of Pat. He's filming right now. But in just a few minutes, we are going to flip that camera around and I am going to let Pat guide you through installing lighting behind the tub so that it accents the stone wall right here in our master bathroom. So super excited to get started and let Pat walk you guys through that. So we will go ahead and flip it around and we'll get it going. Thanks again for joining us. Stay tuned.
Hi guys, welcome back. So today, like Kathy said, we're going to put some LED lighting behind the tub to accent this stone wall. So when we built this house originally, we kind of were in a rush. Tub came pretty quickly, didn't know what we were going to do. I knew I wanted to do something to accent this wall, so LED is going to be the perfect option for this. So one thing to note that we're doing, we had to go through some ceramic tile. We do have heated floors. So it was a little tricky and I took some of the time consuming video out. I've already drilled that hole. It did take a while. I did have to go purchase this Lennox diamond bit to get through that ceramic flooring. Now it still took a long time. You had to use a little water, but I think it still worked a lot better than what you would expect to get out of a standard, masonry bit or some other kind of a drill bit. Like I said, it did take a long time though, so we didn't film that portion of it. So we do have the hole in the floor. So what we're going to be installing today is this LED light strip from Diode LED. It's 24 volt, 4200K, which is the Kelvin, so that's the color temperature. So it's not necessarily that super warm white, but it's not that bright white you might see in like a commercial application. How we're going to control that is using this Lutron plug-in Caseta dimmer. So we have these throughout our house. A lot of our house is controlled with Lutron Caseta. It's a product that Lutron made for residential. You have plug-in dimmer modules, you have in-wall dimmers, switches, those kind of things. It's also app-based, so we can control it from our phones, which we do a lot, especially when we're going out of town. We can set scenes and those kind of things with it. So that's what we're going to use to control it. Now we're going to mount this in the basement though. So instead of trying to pull wire up through and into these walls and cut a box in to control it from up here, I have an outlet picked out downstairs in an unfinished area that we're using for storage currently. That's where this is going to go. Now how we're going to control that from the basement is using one of their Pico remotes. So this is a battery powered RF remote that talks to this module via radio frequency. So we're going to get this put on the wall. We're going to put this plate over it. It's going to look like a fully in the wall installed solution. It's going to look really good, look like it was built with the house. It's going to be really cool, really nice looking. Now this is 24 volt tape or 24 volt fixture. So we have a 24 volt power supply that's going to plug into that Caseta module. Now one thing that I did was, this is not a dimmable power supply. This is a dimmer that not a lot of people know that you can actually reprogram this to be a switch or switch a switch load by pushing and holding the on and off button for 6 seconds, turns this into a switching module. So that's what I've already done. I've already programmed both of these to my phone so I can operate them from my phone or from their locations. So that part is already done. Like I said, the hole's already drilled. I did buy this terminal strip here from Lowe's. So this is how we're going to make our connection from upstairs to our wire that we're going to transfer the load here all the way over to the power module. So we're going to use these terminal strips. It comes in a long strip. You can break them off. So I broke off 2 sections to use that as splices. So if you want to follow me, we're going to go ahead. I've already got the other end of this plugged through the floor. So we're just going to set this in place, plug it in, and then we're going to go down to the basement and start running our cable. Then we'll go over, we'll plug in our Caseta module, put our driver in it, make all of our connections, and then we'll come back up here and we'll set this tape where we want it. We'll get our Pico remote on the wall, and then everything will be good to go, and then we'll turn it on and see how you guys like it. So we're going to go ahead and set this on the floor. By the way, let me grab my flashlight. Oh, don't have a flashlight up here. Let me grab my phone. So you can see the hole that we've drilled, and we have our cord in coming up through there. We'll just plug these in. One's female, one's male. They'll just snap together, and then we'll go downstairs. So like I said, we're not going to put this in place yet because we're going to want to wait until we get it all working before we get anything set totally in place. So now that we've got those plugged in, we'll go downstairs, we'll connect our wire and get everything plugged in, and then we'll come back up here. So we'll see you in just a second. Okay guys, so we're back down here in the basement. As you can see up here, here's our black wire that is our lead from our LED tape stubbed out from underneath the bathroom floor. Here's our, what I'm using here is just a 16 gauge speaker wire that we had left over when we originally built the house. So we had a bunch of this left over. So that's what I'm going to use to go from here over into the storage area where we're going to connect to our power supply, then plug that into our Lutron Caseta plug-in switch. So I'm going to get up here. I'm going to just staple this speaker wire to the joist so I can make a connection, and then I'm going to just travel this on down through, and we'll just pause when I come down off of here so you guys won't have to deal with seeing all of that. So we'll just make our connections using the speaker wire, like I said, and this terminal block. And this is low voltage, 24 volts, so it doesn't really necessarily need to be in any kind of a box. And this ceiling is eventually going to be finished. We're in the process right now finishing off our basement, so this will all be hidden. Just want to make sure everything works before we get to that process so we don't have any issues down the road. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the cable, and then we'll meet back up with you guys over there at the outlet in the wall. So we'll see you in a minute. Okay guys, so we're back. So I've got our wire ran from our bathroom under the floor there through the ceiling. I've tucked it in pretty good. I've used my DeWalt staple gun, 20 volt staple gun, to staple it here. We're dropped down over here by this outlet. So this outlet is in our storage room. It's pretty packed in here right now. Like I said, we're finishing the basement. The easiest way for me to get this done right now was to just tie this into this sump pump outlet that sits over here. So that's what we're gonna do. Eventually, I have a plan for this. I'm doing a between the stud mount enclosure where I'm going to mount this along with a duplex, actually two double duplex. We've got all of our LED lights and our bookshelves ran to a certain area, so I'm going to enclose all of that. Eventually I'm going to get an Omni 2 driver, dimmable driver that works with that strip light, so we can have full access of all the full dimming range, excuse me. So I'm going to make this connection here. We'll get it plugged into our Caseta switch, plug-in switch, and then we'll go back upstairs and we'll get the Caseta Pico mounted on the wall. And then we'll light it up for you guys, see how it looks. So these terminal strips make it really easy. I've tried wire nuts, and I've tried compression connectors and those kind of things. These make it really nice, so if you have to go back through and redo it, you just unscrew them and then, you know, do whatever you need to do and redo it. So we'll get it plugged in here. We've got our Caseta module plugged in. So like I said, eventually this is all going to be tucked away in a wall that's going to sit over in a different area in the basement. So we have our Caseta module, we have our 24 volt transformer, our wire. Like I said, we're plugged in right now to our sump pump outlet, so we haven't had any issues with that, so we shouldn't have any issues here. So we're going to head back upstairs. We're going to get that Pico mounted on the wall, and then we're going to turn it on for you. We'll see you in just a second. All right, guys, so we're back upstairs. So we've got everything plugged in downstairs. We've got all of our connections made. So what we're going to do now is we're going to install the Pico Remote onto the wall. So really simple task. So like I said, these are battery powered. This is a 2-button. If this was a dimming scenario, they make a 4-button, so a on, off, raise, and lower. And then some of them actually have a favorite in the middle, so you can program that to any favorite setting. Maybe you want it to come on when you push that button to 50% or 20% or 100%. So that's the dimming version of it. This is just a switching version, so on and off is the only app that we have right now. So that's what we're going to use. So we're going to get this put on. So it has this little slip out here. This is just double-sided tape that's on this connector. So we'll pull that double-sided tape off, and then we'll just slip it onto that and it'll stick it to the wall. Then we'll take our Legrand screwless plate that has a back plate that will mount over. We'll screw that and attach it permanently to the wall, and then this top plate just snaps onto it and then covers everything real nice for you. So what we'll do is we'll get this put on the wall, and should go pretty good. So we'll put it right here next to our SunTouch touchscreen for our heated floors. So we'll just kind of get it up here, kind of get it where we need it. Peel that double-sided tape off. And we'll just stick it to the wall so we know where that'll stay for us. And then we can remove our cover plate. See, so we've got that mounted there. So now what we'll do is we'll mount our subplate. So that's going to hold our screwless cover onto the wall and give it that nice finish. And there you go. Looks like the box was built that way, like there should be a box and should be power behind the wall, but there's not. It's all battery controlled. It's talking to our Caseta module that's mounted down in the basement to the outlet that's connected to the sump pump. And then it looks like a finished product. It looks really good and nice and clean with that screwless plate. We really like those. We've used those everywhere in our house. So we just really like that. You don't get, sometimes you get the screws will pull in and they'll be uneven. And then sometimes if you don't use a nylon plate and you're using a thermoplastic plate or something, you might get it cracked or whatever. Some guys pull them in too tight and they don't look all that great. I like using these. They look nice if you need to get something. If I needed to take this off, I can just pry it off, pop that off, and then get back underneath it. So we've got that mounted. We've got our tape in place. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on. Looks really nice, doesn't it? Really washes that wall. Now it's not exactly where I want it, so I'm going to reposition it. I don't want it lighting up so much of the sheetrock. I want it lighting up more of the stone itself. I don't want it to bleed out into the sheetrock as much. So I'm going to get down here and just position this where I want it. Slack there. Get that mounted. Where I want it. I just want it under there so it's not lighting up too much of the ceiling, but just washing the wall. So I think that's pretty good. We'll turn off the lights. Turn them back on, everything's functioning properly. We'll turn off these lights in the bathroom to give you a kind of a view of what it looks like at night. So it does a pretty good job of washing that wall. I might want to pull it out just a little bit because I'm not getting a ton of light to the top. It's a little better. So it is going to wash that sheetrock more than I wanted to, and that's just because the tub is sitting further away from the wall than I'd like. But all in all, I guess I really didn't want too much of the ceiling to be washed. I just wanted it to graze that wall, light that stone up, and give you that shadow effect. You can see that shadow effect because the stone is all uneven. It's a dry stack stone, so you do have the different textures. You've got some that are sticking out further than others. So you are getting that shadow effect as you go up that wall. So I think it looks really nice. So let us know what you guys think. Turn these lights back on. So pretty easy project. Really anybody can do it. Just let us know what you think. Thanks guys.
All right, guys, thank you, Pat. So please remember to comment, like, subscribe, and the logo at the right-hand side of your screen. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, you don't have to have stone behind your tub. If you've just got a wall or you've got it accented with wallpaper or a barnwood wall, it's a really, really cool feature that we use quite often in our house. All right, guys, so thank you so much for watching today at our modern farmhouse with Kat and Pat. Please remember to click on the logo on the right-hand side of your screen to subscribe. Please remember to comment, like, and share. And thank you so much for watching. We will see y'all later. Bye.
Bye, y'all.